Hi everyone, it's Dr. Prashant here. I'm a pediatric surgeon practicing here in Pune, India, and along with my surgical practice, I also work as a health and wellness coach. Since last almost 8 years, I'm a part of this community called as WQ community, and we have almost now 120,000 followers, on Facebook. And I am a member of medical advisory board at this WQ community, and I run my own online platform, which is called as the Online Obesity Clinic. And we basically help doctors to lose weight at the rate of 2 to 4 kgs per month, 100% guaranteed, or else you don't pay. Okay. We also help you for reversal of diabetes and other lifestyle disease reversal. And you are not only able to achieve the results, but you are also able to maintain it lifelong because the program is very simple, easy to follow, and sustainable. Okay. And today's topic is this: does calorie deficit really work? All right, now there will be a lot of proponents of it, and there will be people who will be opposing this. Okay, but I do not want to support anybody or I do not want to oppose anybody. Okay, and I'm going to talk about the truth which I have observed. Okay, personally, and I have observed it in so many of my clients. All right. So let's talk about this calorie thing is going on now. Just imagine, okay, a lot of people who want to lose weight, they embark on their journey for weight loss. And how many times have you seen this? And probably you might also relate with this, that you start losing weight, okay, then you hit a plateau, okay, things are not working, and then you give up. And once you give up, you start putting the weight back again, and it comes back with a vengeance. Okay, how many of you have seen that? I'm sure some of you must have seen this. All right, कि हमारा वजन कम हुआ, ठीक है, और उसके बाद में हमने जब बंद कर दिया फॉलो करना, वजन फिर से बढ़ गए, ठीक है, और बंद क्यों किया फॉलो करना, ठीक है, उसके बारे में भी हम लोग बात करेंगे. Why did you stop doing what you were doing? Because it was not sustainable. Okay, that was a problem. Let's talk about this something called as calorie deficit. And does it really work? Okay, let's talk about it. Okay. So, there are certain myths which are associated with these calories, and we need to talk about it. Okay. So, what is a calorie? Calorie is basically a unit of energy. It comes from thermodynamics, and, there is something which is burning and it liberates energy, and that is measured in terms of calories. In human body, it is measured in terms of calories. Okay. So, what are the myths which are associated with this? The first myth is a calorie is a calorie. एनर्जी है ना, एनर्जी तो एनर्जी है, उससे क्या फर्क पड़ता है. It's just a no, it's just energy. That's it. All right. This is the first myth. Okay. The second myth is that calorie in and calorie out is independent of each other. Okay. Means what? Okay. Whatever I take in, okay, my calorie expenditure is fixed, and my calorie intake also, I can control something like that. Okay. Our BMR is stable. Oh, if my BMR is 2000 calories, then it is going to be 2000 calories forever. Okay, so BMR is stable, all right. And then we exert conscious control over calories in. Okay, so these are some of the myths, okay, which are associated. So today we are going to talk about only whether calorie deficit really works or doesn't. Okay, let's talk about it. Okay, so the first myth is this: a calorie is a calorie. Now, if calorie is a calorie only, now just imagine, does 100 calories of olive oil and 100 calories of sugar, is it going to produce the same result in our body? Think of it. All right. I see a lot of people giving diets on calorie deficit. And okay, you can take 2 biscuits. Oh, you can take this. Okay. Until and unless you're maintaining the calorie deficit, now whatever you have, it doesn't matter. Now, whether it is a cake, whether it's a chocolate, whether it's a pizza, or whether it's some healthy vegetables, it doesn't matter. Okay. You are maintaining the calorie deficit now. Bas, that's it. So just imagine, is it going to produce the same result in your body? Okay, even if you're maintaining the calorie deficit, is olive oil and sugar going to produce the same result in your body? I am sure you know the answer. All right. The metabolic impact is different. Okay. So it's not about the calorie. What does that calorie do in our body? That is more important. Okay. So we will talk about this in our next video. Okay. But let's talk about myth number 2. And this is the most important myth. Okay. Calorie in and calorie out are independent of each other. Okay. Now you're looking for weight loss, and let's say you start working on calorie deficit. So let's say your calorie intake is 2000 calories. So as it is mentioned here, it is 2000 calories. And let's say your output is also 2000 calories. Let's say, for example, your BMR itself is 2000 calories. Okay. So now, yes, your calorie intake is 2000, output is 2000. You will maintain weight. Okay. Now, you want to lose weight, so you have to maintain the calorie deficit and you go on a 500 calorie deficit diet. Okay. How do you do that? You start eating less. और सभी लोग घर में तो एडवाइस देते ही है. ओके एवरीबडी गिव्स दिस एडवाइस. व्हाट डू द पीपल गिव एडवाइस एट देयर होम्स? मोटा हो गया तो अरे यार तू जरा थोड़ा सा कम खाते जा और थोड़ा सा ज्यादा चलते जा. ओके सो यू ईट लेस एंड यू मूव मोर. दिस इज व्हाट एवरीबडी सेज. करेक्ट? ऑलराइट. And yes, and you start following this formula. Yes, eat less and move more, and you go on a 500 calorie deficit. Okay, how do you do that? You probably started eating less and started doing more workouts. Okay, थोड़ा सा चलना चालू किया. You started going to gym and blah blah blah. Okay, and yes, you start losing weight. Oh, that is exciting. Okay, you get excited. Yes, this is working. All right. Okay, and let's see what's happened. Okay, so here comes the equation, calorie in and calorie out. मतलब 500 calorie का जो deficit हुआ, that was fats. So I have lost 500 calories of fat. Okay, so this is called as energy balance equation, that calorie in minus calorie out is equal to fat. Okay, and let's talk about it. क्या हुआ? Okay, let's see. So this is the truth which is happening in our body. You initially were taking 2000 calories, your output was 2000 calories. You are thinking that when you will jump to 1500 calories, your output will continue to be 2000 calories. But is that the case? No. Your output also came to 1500 calories. And just understand this concept, okay? That, if your calorie intake is reduced, the body has to manage all its metabolism with that amount of calorie, that amount of energy which it is receiving. So if it is receiving 1500 calories, it has to manage within 1500 calories now. All the energy expenditure. How can it continue to spend 2000 calories? It's practically not possible. Just imagine if your salary, okay, is 1 lakh rupees per month, then the maximum which you can spend is 1 lakh rupees. Okay. In our world, we have loans from the banks and all that, but in human body, we don't have loans. Okay. We can't, buy loans from somebody. We can't borrow loan of energy from somebody. Okay. So this is extremely important to understand. So if your income is 1 lakh rupees, you can spend only 1 lakh rupees. Okay. So this is the truth. What is happening? Once you go to 1500 calories, your output, the calorie expenditure is also happening up to 1500 calories. So there is no deficit which is happening. And that is why initially you will start losing weight, maybe even up to 5 kgs, 6 kgs, maximum up to 7, 8 kgs. After that, you hit a plateau. It's not working. It's not happening. All right. Okay. And then you get frustrated. Then you give up and start eating everything. And then, boom, you gain back the weight. How does that happen? Let's talk about it. Okay. So now let's say you have understood now. Okay, now 1500 calories is giving 1500 output, and there is a plateau. Okay, now there is a plateau. Now this 1500 calorie expenditure is controlled by a center in the hypothalamus. Okay, there is an organ, okay, which is called as, not an organ, but there is a center in the brain which is called as hypothalamus, and this actually is controlling all your how much you're going to eat, how much you're going to spend, and all that. Okay, and this is called as metabolic set point. Okay, and insulin hormone has a lot of influence there. Okay, and this metabolic set point decides how much is the expenditure which is going to be in your body. Okay, now if your intake has gone to 1500 calories, this metabolic set point is going to change and it is going to become 1500. All right, so let's say, for example, your metabolism was 10. All right, and you started eating less and you went on a calorie deficit, and from 10 you went to 8. Your metabolism also goes to 8. Okay, from 10 to 8. All right, so this is very important thing to understand. Now what happens is that once you hit a plateau, you start eating back again, okay, as you used to eat earlier. So let's say your 1500 calorie diet went to 1700 calorie diet. Okay, क्योंकि अभी स्टॉप कर दिया आपने फॉलो करना, अभी वेट लॉस नहीं हो रहा है, प्लेट्यू हो रहा है, तो क्यों फॉलो करें? ठीक है, वाई टू स्टार्व? ओके, यू आर हंग्री, आपको भूख लगी है, फिर भी आप खाना नहीं खा रहे हो, यू आर ट्राइंग टू, यू आर हैविंग लॉट ऑफ क्रेविंग्स, You're thinking about food a lot of times, but still, it's not working now. Okay, क्योंकि सब करके भी देखा अभी 4-5 किलो वजन मेरा कम हो गया, लेकिन उसके आगे नहीं हो रहा है. I have hit a plateau. Okay. Now you said enough is enough. Okay, I will give up everything and I will start eating again. Okay. Now most of the people will not go to 1700 calories, but they will go to 2000 calorie diet. Okay, or probably 2500 calorie diet. Okay. So now what happens? Understand this. This is extremely important to understand. So what is happening now is like, you are taking 200 calories excess now. The body continues to burn 1500 calories. Okay. Understand this. Now, when you come to 1700 calorie diet, your metabolism doesn't go from 1500 calorie to 1700. It remains at 1500. It doesn't change almost up to a year. Okay. And this 200 calories is excess. Okay. And this will be deposited as fats. Okay. Now remember, human evolution, fats are stored in our body as energy source whenever there is an emergency, whenever it is required. People used to starve in olden era. They don't used to get food for a long period of time. And this fat used to get used during that time. Okay. But now what has happened is that this 200 calorie excess is getting stored as fats because body is thinking now that, you know, you might go in starvation mode again. Now this 200 calorie, it is better to store as fats. Okay. For example, if you have to say that, okay, your income was 1 lakh rupees and you are spending 1 lakh rupees. All right. Now you got 1,20,000 rupees. Okay. Now what you are going to do is that you're going to save that 20,000 rupees because earlier you saw that, yes, your income actually came from, 1 lakh rupees to 80,000 rupees. At that time, you had to spend 80,000 rupees only. Now, once your income has gone to 1,20,000 rupees, now you're going to be smart. Okay. You know that there can be a position in which you can go to 80,000 rupees back again. So it is better to save that 20,000 rupees rather than spending it. Okay. That is what body exactly does. Okay. The body goes into starvation mode and it understands that, there is a chance that you might go into starvation in future also. So it is better to conserve these 200 calories and save as fats. Okay. And that is why a lot of people, once they stop following what they were following, they start gaining weight back again. Okay. And this is the problem with this calorie deficit. Okay. So this is the second myth: calorie in and calorie out are independent of each other. Okay. This myth is also there. Okay. Our BMR is stable. Okay. So see, measuring intake is very simple. All right. But measuring BMR, okay, like, how much expenditure is happening, it's extremely complicated procedure. Okay. It is actually called as total energy expenditure. And it is very complicated. What it is a combination of your BMR, that is basal metabolic rate, plus, okay, thermic effect of food means what? Whenever you are going to eat anything like proteins, fats, carbs, okay, there is an amount of calories which are burnt by the body to absorb those proteins, fats, and carbs. Okay. It is maximum for proteins. All right. So that we don't calculate. Then there is something called as non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which is called as NEAT. We don't calculate that. We don't take that into consideration. And there is also called as post-exercise oxygen consumption. So these things we have no clue about. The only thing that we can control is something called as exercise. Okay. So exercise जब करते हैं, हाँ हमको मालूम है, हाँ मैंने इतना कैलोरी बर्न किया, and that can be charted on, even I chart on my this thing fit band, but it's only one component. Okay. And this total energy expenditure can go up or down by almost 50%. Can you see the fluctuation? Almost 50%. And that is why this is one of a very big myth that our BMR is stable. It is not stable. It keeps changing. Even within the day, it can keep changing. All right. Okay. And last but not the least is that we can exert conscious control, okay, over calories in. मतलब क्या? मैं control करूँगा. Okay, I can control and I cannot eat. Okay, I am having cravings. I am hungry. I am starving, but still I will not eat, even if the food is available. It is not practically possible. Understood? Okay, because this control is not exerted by you. It is not your conscious control. It is a control by your hormones. There are horror stories wherein people were in situations, especially in armies and all that, wherein they don't get food for a long period of time and they are actually eating other human beings. Okay, those are the horror stories. And this, everything is controlled by hormones. All right. Okay. And these hormones are leptin, ghrelin, CCK, peptide YY, and so many. Okay. So this obesity is a hormonal disorder. It is not a calorie disorder. Okay. So in a nutshell, if you have to discuss about this, then calorie deficit is something which doesn't work. Period. No discussions about it. Okay. It doesn't work. All right. What works is something called as calorie restriction. Okay. Calorie restriction. Now, what is calorie restriction? I will prepare a separate video on this. Okay. So stay tuned. I hope this video helped you. And if you are a victim of calorie deficit, you're losing weight and again gaining it back, losing weight and again getting it back. Okay. Then probably you are doing something wrong. Okay. And there is some problem. Okay. If you have lost weight, you should be able to maintain it lifelong. Period. All right. So I hope this video helped you. Thank you very much for listening. Stay tuned for further videos.